Hello, my name is Skyler Stamper, and I'm going to present my presentation. So, in this presentation, I'm going to be talking about what kind of some of the challenges I faced in last year's educational school year and going into this year, and how the Modern Classrooms program over this past summer kind of helped me prepare for this coming year. So, some of the challenges that I was faced with was being a first year teacher last year, and not only just being a first year teacher, but being a first year teacher coming in during a pandemic where we were only virtually learning until the end of the school year. Being a first time teacher that had no education in teaching, I was doing the Option 6 program, which I'm about to finish up here in May. I'll be finished and I'll have my master's in elementary education. But I was coming into that school year I just had graduated Eastern with a bachelor's in healthcare administration. And then I decided I would want to come home and be a teacher. I was lucky enough to get a job, enrolled in my Option 6 program where I'm taking my master's at the Cumberlands, started my classes in August, and started teaching in August. And I got placed in fifth grade social studies. I'm lucky enough to, the school that I teach at, I've lived here all my life. My mother is actually a teacher here, and I get to teach with her every day now. And the teachers that were teaching with me in fifth grade, I knew them well, and I had known them my whole life, so they were very helpful to me. They were my role models, and they were my teachers when I was in school, so they were here to help me. But still, being a first year teacher, being 21 years old, coming into this with no teaching experience except for subbing every now and then during college, and thinking that I was going to have a different career. But I knew that I loved teaching, I knew that I loved helping children, and I knew that I could do it, and knew I could handle my classes as well. So one thing that I really wanted to make sure that I was doing is having good classroom control and helping my students feel comfortable. I wanted them to feel comfortable in the classroom, but at the same time, I wanted to have classroom management. Having experience subbing was very different because, as you can imagine, the classroom management, being a sub, is very different than being a teacher. So I had to learn, and one of the things I learned, and the teacher that was in fifth grade with me helped me as well, is learning how to have a backbone and be stern and have that management that you need, while also having good relationships with your students. So kind of finding that sweet spot in the middle. So all of this that was happening virtually last year until about April when we started letting students back in. So a lot of this learned was in the virtual learning classroom, but now as I've finished out that year and moved into this year, it started happening in person. So sorry about the phone ringing. Let me turn that off real fast. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So like I said, having that classroom management. I also struggle with setting classroom and student expectations. I'm at school right now, so that's my phone's ringing. I wanted my students to know what to expect from me as a new teacher and know what to expect in the classroom. And that's hard, and that's something I had to learn how to manage, was having my students have a new teacher and understand what they need to expect from this new teacher. And then I ended up moving from last year from fifth grade social studies to kindergarten. So I am now a kindergarten teacher. So I knew that when I was taking the summer modern classroom program, I knew that I would be moving to kindergarten. So I kind of felt a little bit nervous about some of the same problems and even some new problems. I was worried about, how am I going to have technology in kindergarten? How are my kindergartners going to be able to learn from home when they need to? How are they going to be able to use technology within the classroom? So those are some things that I was worried about with kindergarten. I wanted to be able to teach successfully to the kids that were virtual, as well as the kids that were in person. So these are the things that I was struggling with before the Modern Classrooms program. So these are some things that I learned through the Modern Classroom program, and I implemented into my teaching this year, because I've done the program over the summer. So I've learned to introduce a mixed classroom with virtual learning. All of my students are in person this year, but there is an occasional quarantine or reasons as to
Lucas
why.
Henson comes off his point
Sorry.
home. Lucas Henson.
Reasons as to why students have to learn virtually. So I did. I'm sorry. There'll probably be somebody coming here to get his stuff in a minute. I did want to learn how to do that with kindergarten. That's one of the things that I told my mentors during the program. And I learned that mostly in kindergarten, I'm going to be providing paper materials. We're going to be doing our work on paper for the most part, but we're going to supplement with online resources. So that's exactly what I do in my daily routine here at kindergarten. We do paperwork, we supplement with videos and games online, and we even have the students have their own Chromebooks to use as well. So our main focus is paper, supplementing with technology until they go virtual. Then we do rely on that technology, while also we do student send home paper packets. So it's a good mix, I would say. We send stuff home with parents and students all the time, both paper and technology, so they're used to using both. And we incorporate technology into daily lessons, like we said, with their Chromebooks, and I use my smartboard every day. I put our worksheets up on a smartboard and use them. So students are used to seeing technology and used to using it already at that young age. So some things that have my results from the modern classroom program. I have more consistency between virtual learning and in-person learning. I feel like I did really good with that last year in fifth grade. Fifth graders are, they know how to use their computers and they know how to do these things like that with the virtual classroom. They were at the age and they were learning how to do that. Kindergartners, not so much. So with the situation that we've not had many virtual learning kindergartners, so we've been lucky in that. But I feel like if we did have to go virtual, that I would be able to maintain consistency between that and in-person learning now with the knowledge that I've gained from modern classrooms. My students are learning how to navigate a virtual classroom. They're learning how to use Google Classroom, how to use ABC Mouse, ABC Kids. Sorry. I can't remember. The point is they're learning to use all these online programs, and they are learning to understand to use technology to learn. And this has created smoother transitions between virtual and online learning, as well as in the classroom in person. Clear classroom expectations. Students, they know what they are expected to do every morning. We've created a consistent schedule, so they know when they come in. They know where to put their backpacks. They know where to sit. They know what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to sit down and get started on their names. They know every move throughout the day. They're on a schedule, and they know what is expected of them at each point throughout the day. And I can comfortably now say that I have a good classroom environment, and I feel like all of my students are comfortable, while at the same time they're all being managed well. So I have a good behavior management system as well. I feel like I've created that very good with my kindergarten classroom this year. And we have a wider variety of learning resources now. So the modern classroom opened my eyes to so many different resources that I can use, even with kindergarten. So there's so many things online that is there for us to use, as well as online that we can print out and use in person and on paper. So I am just thankful for the mentor program, the modern classroom. I've learned a lot, and I feel like my classroom compared to this year from last year has improved so much, and I can't wait to watch it improve every year from here on out.